Once upon a time, in ancient Greece, there were these mighty warriors known as hoplites. Now, a hoplite wasn't just any ordinary soldier. They were like the elite infantry of their time, armed to the teeth and ready to defend their city-states at a moment's notice. Picture this. It's the 7th to 4th centuries BCE, and if you were a regular citizen of a Greek city-state with some cash to spare, you were expected to gear up as a hoplite when the call to arms came. Athens, for instance, had this rule where young lads aged 18 to 20 had to serve in the military, but when things got hairy in a war, even the older gents up to 60 could find themselves drafted. Now, don't go thinking these hoplites were all pro fighters. Most of them weren't. They were just ordinary folk with a spear and a shield, given a crash course in combat when duty called. But hey, there were exceptions. Sparta, for example, had a bunch of hardcore pros in their army, and their hoplites were like the Avengers of ancient Greece, feared and respected for their skills. Let's talk gear. A hoplite's arsenal was pretty straightforward: a long spear for poking enemies from a safe distance, and a short sword for when things got up close and personal. Plus, they'd lug around a hefty shield the size of a small car door, made of wood and bronze, weighing about as much as a sack of potatoes. And oh, the armor! They'd strap on a bronze helmet, a chest plate, shin guards, the whole shebang. It was like trying to fight in a suit of medieval armor but in the scorching Greek sun. Imagine the sweat. Being a hoplite wasn't just about being a soldier, it was a status symbol. If you were one, you were kind of a big deal in Greek society. And if you managed to survive a battle, you might even get to hang your armor in some fancy temple as a trophy. So, next time you think about ancient Greek warfare, remember those tough, sweaty, and heavily armed hoplites holding the line for their city-states with nothing but grit and bronze. Now, let's talk tactics. These hoplites weren't just a bunch of guys swinging swords randomly. Oh no, they had strategies, formations, and all that jazz. Picture this: hundreds of them packed tightly together, shields overlapping, marching forward like a human tank. They called it a phalanx, and it was a sight to behold. Here's the deal. In a phalanx, each man's shield covered not just himself, but also his buddy on the left. It was like they had each other's backs, literally. But here's the twist. Since everyone was trying to hide behind their neighbor's shield, the whole formation ended up veering slightly to the right. Sneaky, right? Now, if you were smart in leading one of these phalanxes, you'd know the left side was the weak spot. That's where the enemy would strike first, hoping to break the formation. So, as a savvy commander, you'd stack your best fighters on the right side, ready to counter any attacks. When the fighting started, it was like a dance of death. Spears jabbing, shields clashing, and the air filled with the sound of war cries and battle songs. It was chaos, but organized chaos. They'd push and shove, trying to break the enemy's line, all while slashing with their swords in close combat. And let me tell you, these hoplites were no pushovers. They played a key role in some of Greece's greatest victories, like the Battle of Marathon and the Battle of Plataea. But of course, they weren't invincible. Clever commanders could exploit weaknesses, like attacking from the sides or using cavalry on rough terrain. Even so, the phalanx formation stuck around for a good long while, evolving through the years with different armies adapting it to their own styles. It was like the OG of military formations, standing strong from ancient Greece all the way to early Roman times. So, there you have it, the epic tale of the hoplite phalanx, where men stood shoulder to shoulder, ready to defend their homeland with everything they had.